Just hit live feed. Tell me.
Rolling.
Oh, shalom, shalom, everybody. Hi, I'm here in the beautiful Pacific Palisades, which means nothing to probably anyone there, but it's otherwise known as Malibu. Check out the sun just set over the Malibu mountains there. Those are all the different headlands where I grew up surfing, and came in for my mother's 80th birthday, and we just got the front of their house. Very beautiful place. Got in this morning, flew in straight from Eretz Yisrael, and so far I've had quite a day. Davened, yoga, jacuzzi, massage, and then took my father around to doctors all day, which was really amazing. Like I have to fill in all the honoring of my parents that I miss living in Eretz Yisrael. But I guess maybe there's no greater honor to honor parents with than living in the Holy Land. Anyway, meanwhile, just want to share a little thought about Pesach coming up. And it's really an interesting thing. And it's kind of a, I learned what I'm about to say from my wife, because, my wife's a bit of a lightweight when it comes to mind-altering substances. So as
opposed to you.
I'm even a bigger lightweight, maybe. Anyway, but there we were, Seder night. She decides she's going for wine. By the time she had her second cup, she's plastered and can barely function for the rest of the Seder. And then we said to ourselves, how are we supposed to conduct the Seder after having 2 full cups of wine? And I'm also, I'm highly sensitive, so I was also smashed. And I'm supposed to be leading this thing. And yet, all of us, all of Israel is supposed to be doing this. And it's a bit ridiculous, because there are people who drink grape juice, which if you look in halacha, there's just no room for that. That's for people who are either part of Alcoholics Anonymous, or it's for the infirm. Okay, and I don't think anyone watching this is infirm, although you may be part of Alcoholics Anonymous. Anyway, we're supposed to be drinking wine, red wine, strong red wine. And it should be fairly potable, which would be helpful, so you want to get some good, strong red wine. But we drink 2 cups, we're on an empty stomach, we're going on for hours and hours, so it's not like we've eaten anything. A little bite of a potato dipped in salt water is not exactly filling. And so here we are on empty stomachs and drinking all this wine. And I can't drink 1 cup of wine without being tipsy. 2 cups of wine, I'm almost smashed. And we're supposed to continue. So what is going on here? And there are 2 other times, by the way, where we're fulfilling a mitzvah in a kind of a very altered state. Another one is Purim, fulfilling the mitzvah of the download of Purim really comes in unconscious. That's why Litvaks, for example, are allowed to sleep a little bit on Purim day to fulfill their Ad Lo Yada, because the download of Purim comes when you're unconscious. And so either you have to drink to get there, meaning where you're no longer in your normal headspace, or you have to go to sleep. The other one is Sukkot. Sukkot, we sleep in that sukkah, and that's when the big download comes, when you're sleeping in the sukkah. I pity the fool who don't sleep in his sukkah. So you got to sleep in your sukkah.
Mm-hmm, that's right. What he said. Anyway, you can keep out the commentary, by the way. That was great. Anyway, so Pesach night, we have to get totally out there on this wine. But what is wine? Wine has a lot going on. The most important thing about wine, 2 most important things, is one is it's expansive and it's covenantal. Expansive and covenantal. It's the covenant with God. You just got bit by a mosquito? Yeah. Neil.
It's my brother Sam, by the way, on video over there. It's you! You got bit by a mosquito.
That's all right.
Anyway, so the wine is mind expanding, because this is all about going from the narrow straits to the expansiveness. And so this wine takes us to
the expanded consciousness of Yetzias Mitzrayim, because it's brought down in Sfarim that Egypt represents narrow consciousness, and the leaving of Egypt represents expanded consciousness, and we're going into this expanded space. From the narrow straits I called to God, and He answered me with expansiveness. So this wine brings us to that expansion. The other thing about wine is it's covenantal. You know, whenever we're doing anything having to do with the covenant with God, it's always over wine. Wine is covenantal. That's why during the 9 days of the destruction of the temple, we can drink any other alcohol. You can drink Jack Daniels, you can drink beer, you can drink tequila. But you cannot drink wine because it's covenantal. And our connection with God has been broken by the lack of Jerusalem being built. And so we don't drink wine that week. Anyway, so this wine expands us, and it's our covenant with God. And God wants us in this like higher place for the Seder, to be in that, and also brings joy. Wine gladdens the heart of man, and it brings us to a joyous place, which is where we fulfill mitzvahs out of joy. And so anyway, this Pesach, just go with it, man. Just go with it. Drink the wine. Go with it. Our sages knew what they were doing. You can hack it. You know, just enjoy the wine, make l'chaim, and bottoms up, and get into the Seder, get the joy going, and you're generally going to act out the Seder much better if you've had some wine. You know, your kids will have a much bigger blast with the way you know, present the 3D level of leaving Egypt for the children at the table. You'll do better having had a couple cups of wine. You know, getting into the spirit of that kind of thing. I mean, I get dressed, I have a pharaoh mask and a robe, and my wife has, you know, another taskmaster mat. And we come out with whips and start beating people and stuff in the middle of the Seder. Okay, so try to do that sober. Anyway, Shalom everybody. Blessings from California. I'll try to check in later. All the best.
Shalom. Bink. It didn't push.
Oops.